Well, Gordon Richards, I'm not really qualified to talk about him because it was before my time. So I never really saw him riding. I might have seen some clips of him riding. All I can go is on his record, amazing record of number of winners every year. So it's a bit difficult for me to put him in an order. About the others, Kieran Fallon, Lester Piggott and Frankie. Well, again, it's slightly unfair because I got an emotional attachment to Frankie because he started with me when he was 14, and therefore I always regarded him as a bit of a part of the family, if not part of a project. So I'd have to put him first for loyalty, and also because he's an absolutely amazing jockey. To think that he's still riding at the best, at the highest level now, age 51, and to think of all the big races he's ridden is absolutely amazing. So he goes first. Lester has to be equal first because I knew Lester. He rode plenty for me. And again, he was an amazing jockey, amazing feel for horses, and amazing knack for knowing where to be in a race at all times and what speed to go. Not the easiest to communicate with, easier to communicate with Frankie, but nevertheless, Lester was an icon. And Kieran, sadly, I only got to know Kieran towards the end of his career because he'd already been with Henry and Stouty, and then he had his problems when he was at Ballydoyle, and then he had this publicised sort of problems with the authorities, and then he rode for maybe 2 or 3 years for me, and obviously wasn't at his peak anymore, but he, again, an incredible horseman, an incredible person, like to get horses to do exactly what he wanted when he was with a horse. When he was on a horse, the two of them were just one.
So Frankie and Lester, Kieran, Gordon Richards.
Well, Gordon Richards only because I didn't know
Okay.
him. You know, if I'd known him, or if he had been my apprentice, he would be number one. we're talking about 4 icons here, and it'd be unfair to actually put him in a particular order. It's quite obvious, really, that Frankel has to be number one. Mainly probably because it's the most recent, so it's the most vivid in one's recollection. I was very fond of Mill Reef. I thought he was an exceptionally good horse, and I don't know, it's difficult. I'd probably have Mill Reef second because he carried on as a 4-year-old as well. Whereas Shergar basically finished after a bad performance in the Ledger. Exceptional horse as he was, exceptional winner of the Derby. But I probably go Mill Reef ahead of Shergar and Frankel number one. I think you just come up with 4 exceptional trainers that go down in history as some of the very best that ever lived. Henry was an exceptional feel guy. He did everything by instinct, by feel. Michael does things with feel as well, but also a lot of reasoning. Michael's got an exceptionally good brain, and he would have emerged and been a very good, successful person in whatever walk of life. And Aidan is Aidan. I mean, he's exceptional. What was the 4th one?
John Gosden.
John Gosden is, he's equally as good.
We're not going to get anywhere with this one, are we? You're going to sit on the fence and give yourself
No,
splinters.
it's not a question of sitting on the fence. You know, if I was a very rich owner, I'd have one horse with all 4 of them, because it's difficult to separate them. They are very, very good. Well, living and training in England, it has to be the Derby. That's the first objective of anybody who starts training, I think, is if you can win a Derby, you can go to your grave a happy man. Not that anybody goes to a grave being a happy man, but you can say that you've done what you were supposed to.
Still the case now?
Oh yeah, I think so. If you live in this country. Yeah. And if you spend the spring dreaming of the Derby because you got a potential Derby horse in the stable, then the Derby is the race you want to win. And the Arc de Triomphe is a very big race that everybody wants to win. But in my opinion, anyway, I'd rather win a Derby than an Arc de Triomphe.
I agree.
What's that?
I wouldn't agree.
You don't think he's saying the right thing, or you don't agree?
He can say what he thinks, but I would.
You'd rather win an arc.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's the sort of champion all age.
End of the year.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
Derby's got
International.
a tradition that is unsurpassed.
That's
And again, I go back to my,
Or a Melbourne Cup. Should we throw that one in?
I go back to my being Italian and what Tesio said, that the existence of a thoroughbred is due to the stick at the end of a mile and a half at Epsom. That is what determines the future, the past and the present and the future of the Derby, or the racehorse. Sorry.